Welcome to the Everyday Comfort Podcast, where we help homeowners make smart decisions and save money, and guide contractors on building trust, growing their business, and delivering real value. Let's dive into the show.
Hi, I'm Anthony Mound, your host of Everyday Comfort, the podcast built to serve both homeowners and home service contractors. Whether you're a contractor looking to grow your business or a homeowner hoping to avoid costly surprises, we dive into real stories, practical tips, and smart strategies to help you succeed and stay comfortable every day. This episode is brought to you by Trust One, your reliable plumbing and HVAC contractor in Quincy, Massachusetts. Our goal is to provide premier customer service that instills our customers with trust, confidence, and a unique experience. Trust One strives to be the most recommended heating, cooling, and plumbing company in the South Shore. To learn more about us and get in touch, visit trustoneservices.com. Today I have Chad here of Rise 25, who has done thousands of interviews with successful entrepreneurs and CEOs. We have flipped the script, and he'll be interviewing me. Chad, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much, Anthony. Great to be here. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks. It's the end of September, just about when we're recording this. I'm in Colorado. It's still like 85 here. Has the weather started to change where you are in Massachusetts?
It's almost sweatshirt weather. No,
Oh, really?
it's pretty mild here. It's not really hot anymore.
Today we're going to get into utility incentives and cost transparency. So we'll talk about some things that I'm kind of curious about. Hey, tell me what Mass Save is.
So Mass Save is a partner of the utility company. So they work on giving rebates for homeowners and no interest loans to make it more affordable, so that consumers can get, no interest loans, more energy efficient heating and cooling systems. And there's other energy saving things like light bulbs and insulation. So they actually help out a lot with getting homeowners a more efficient home.
How does Trust One help out with that in terms of qualifying for rebates?
Yeah, so in order to be on the list, you have to be in order to qualify for customers for the rebates, you have to be on the Mass Save contractors list, which it requires a bit of a process and having the proper licensing and doing the continued training. So how it applies to homeowners is we give them access to the $10,000 rebate for whole home applications, as well as partial rebates for heating or for cooling systems. And then access to the heat loan, which is a 0% interest 7 years loan.
Is the rebate process kind of a step-by-step thing that you can walk us through?
Yeah, so if any homeowner is interested in this program and they're looking for the whole home rebate, they have to get the audit. They have to get a home audit, which they'll go through. They'll check your insulation. They'll check the efficiency of your home. They'll give you tips and tricks. And then if there's any recommendations that they have from the person coming out to your home that's doing the audit, you will have to get those done in order for you to qualify for the $10,000 rebate. So if you had to go forward with the installation, you would then get the installation, and then you get a form that says, hey, we did the required installation. And then you'd have us come out, or another Mass Save contractor. We would go through your home, come up with a system that's designed properly for your home, and it would have to be on the qualifying list. Mass Save has a list of efficiency rating specifics for equipment that qualifies, and so we'd make sure that we give you a piece of equipment that qualifies for that. We would come out, we would do the installation, and then there's one of two ways. One, you can wait for the rebate, or we have a program that we work with that we could actually give you the rebate up front. So we could actually process all the paperwork, and within 48 hours, we'd get a pre-approval for the rebate, and then we would just take the $10,000 right off our quote, and then we would just collect the rebate instead. And then your installation, we would just check in with you, make sure it's working good. And then if you wanted to go the heat loan avenue, you would then do the same process with the audit, get the installation as needed, and then you would submit your application online to the Mass Save portal, loan portal. They would give you an approval, and then you'd go to your bank and get a check, and then that check would have the contractor's name and your name on it, minus the 10 grand. And then that 10 grand, you'd have to finance through us or pay for it out of pocket, but then you would receive it within 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good deal, getting the where you guys get the rebate later and then you save the money initially. Is there any reason why somebody wouldn't do that?
Um, I honestly have no idea. It doesn't make sense to me, but
Sure, sure.
yeah.
Um, which heating or cooling systems tend to qualify best for incentives?
So Massive really only qualifies heat pumps
Okay.
for the. They got rid of the gas rebates. The heat pump water heaters too. You can get an instant $750 rebate for hot water. For a heat pump hot water heater. Heat pump water heater, not. Um, but yeah, mostly that heat pumps.
What percentage of your customers at Trust One actually take advantage of rebates?
Not as many as you would think. Um, say about 10%, 10 to 20%.
Why do you think that is?
The cost of installing a heat pump, it sometimes doesn't offset the cost of the rebate.
Mm.
And then certain situation with homeowners, and this is my opinion, and strike me down. Some people may not like this opinion about it, but I do not think heat pumps are 100% effective for every single home. Uh, Mainly bigger homes, anything over 1,500 square feet, unless it's like perfectly designed and your house is not, it doesn't lose tons of heating or cooling air, like hot or cold air. Um, yeah, and ductless would be your best application in that instance, in my opinion.
I know there's a lot of kind of misconceptions around parts versus labor charges. Why do you think those exist?
I think just people talk about parts and labor, and that's the old school mentality that comes up throughout the years. I mean, you grow up, and then your parents might have got a contractor that were like, "Yeah, well, here's your parts and labor quote." And even some contractors nowadays might do parts and labor. But yeah, it- it's not really the way of doing things now.
What is kind of the breakdown between parts and labor when servicing HVAC and plumbing?
Yeah, so we do a flat rate pricing, so I think it's much better for the customer. So the price that you get is the price that you get, right? So we'd come in, give you a price up front, and if it took us 3 hours or 4 hours, it's the same price. With parts and labor, someone could go to the supply house, they could hang around, they could literally just do whatever they wanted and then charge you the hourly rate. It's with the parts, they mark up the parts too. So it's just, I don't think it's good for the customer.
Why? So, in terms of choosing estimates, why is it sometimes a mistake to choose the lowest? Let's say you get three to five estimates. Why would it be a mistake to choose the lowest?
Yeah, I always say to customers, it's not why would you spend more with us? It's why would you spend less with someone else? When have you ever bought something that was really cheap
And it seemed cheap. Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, let me buy this thing that's cheap. It'll be fine. And then you're like, all right, well, now I had to get rid of that thing that I bought for cheap and and then you had to replace it or get a new one of it. And you're like, yeah, I'm not going to go with that. It's kind of the same thing, except it's way worse in this scenario because you've spent thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars on this piece of heating and cooling equipment that now doesn't work right, or you can't get someone back out to fix it because there was a manufacturer's defect, or they used a product that wasn't made right, or they went cheap on the product itself, or they didn't install it to manufacturer specifications, or there's no warranties or guarantees, or you can't get a hold of the person.
Sure. So how do you guys kind of structure estimates to ensure maybe like an apples to apples comparison?
Yeah, so in my opinion, apples to apples goes far beyond just the quote itself. You have to look at the entire reputation of the person, of the company. Is it a company that's been around a long time? Do they have a big reputation in the marketplace? Have they worked with your neighbors or in the area? Do they have guarantees and warranties? Is this all in writing? Is everything that you're getting in writing? Are they including all the parts and pieces? With all of those things being said, if I looked at two quotes together and they said the same pieces of equipment on it, and they said the same description, which most times they don't. You can definitely decipher the difference between the two. You're not looking at the guarantees. You're not looking at the reputation of the company. You're just literally going to the bottom and going, hey, what's the price difference here? So that's why we really try to decipher the quality of why you would choose Trust One over a different contractor. And it is in those guarantees and the quality and how fast we've grown in our market share and how good we take care of customers.
How can the home, like the type of home or this age of the system, impact pricing and pricing factors?
Yeah, so size of the home, the layout of the home, especially when you're considering ductwork or heat pumps. With ductless, you have to run lines and drains along the outside of the house. Sometimes you can run them through the attic if there's an attic or a finished basement. Sometimes roof lines affect it, sometimes the shape of the house. A lot of those things, sometimes the material, like drilling through stucco or brick, or the material you have to drill through, is very difficult, and that takes more time, which adds to more labor, which adds to more materials like drill bits and things like that. So layout of the home is definitely one thing. If it's a finished basement or not, that's another thing. If the units are on the same walls for ductless, that's another thing. If you can't fit ductwork or you have to maneuver ductwork through finished spaces, it's really every house is different. It's so many there's so many different obstacles and design process too, because you want to make sure you design the system right for the homeowner that's, looks good but also works great.
What, how much you mentioned that, a lot of people don't even take advantage of the rebate. Realistically, though, how much can a homeowner save after accounting for those?
Yeah, so they get the 10,000 and then they get the 0% for 7 years, which no one else offers. Like, not saying us, but I'm saying like no other loan company is offering you 0% 7 years interest. I think it's a great program. But yeah, you save on energy costs too, because these systems have to be really efficient,
Hmm.
especially with air conditioning. They're typically the most efficient units on the market. And then as far as heating goes, as long as the system's designed correctly, you're going to save money on heating as well. Your electric bill is definitely going to go up because you're using all electric heat, but you're going to eliminate that gas or oil bill. So as long as the system's designed right, you'll be comfortable with your heating and cooling system as well as your utility bills.
In Massachusetts, what percent of the typical energy bill would you say goes toward heating and cooling?
At least 30%, 30 to 40%.
Is this time of the year, September? We're basically using nothing. We wake up and whatever. If it's cold, cold. It's hot, it's hot. Is this time of the year kind of a down period? Would you say?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the same type of deal here.
Hmm.
I mean, me, I'm kind of a freak. I like it cold, so
Yeah, same.
I leave the temperature. I leave my air conditioning on to like
Hmm.
66, 67. But I would say most probably don't even turn their heating or cooling system on, and maybe 10% keep their air conditioning running, and maybe the other 10% keep their heat.
Yeah,
They have their
sure,
heat
sure.
running. You definitely have elderly folks that like it really warm, so they're probably running their heating, even though because it's a little cold out right now in the
Hmm.
mornings.
Um, when somebody pays, if they pay, is it possible to pay more upfront but then save in total cost?
No, we prefer our customers use financing. Um, it's a better process. It's easier. It's easier to track in our system. It's less to kind of when it comes to like accounting, it's better, and also it makes it more affordable for the customer.
Last question for you. In terms of rebates, how can a homeowner determine their eligibility for future utility rebates?
I just about anybody qualifies for the rebates as
Hmm.
long as you're not on a municipality, you know, like Beld or Norwood. Specific towns have their own municipalities, and those qualification or requirements are a little bit different than Mass Save, so you'd have to check into those before. But they do follow similar guidelines as Mass Save, but most homes will qualify for a rebate up to 10 grand or the 1250 per ton. So I'd say about 90, over 90%, unless it's where they don't qualify is in big condo buildings. So if you're in a big condo place with like more than 10 units, then you wouldn't be able to qualify for those rebates.
Okay. Well, good to know. Good to keep in mind. Anthony, great to talk to you again. Always great information. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Everyday Comfort Podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.